Jayakrita, Jaya Masters. Almost everything in human life is kind of misunderstood because mind gets involved in it and things get distorted. Perhaps nothing more so than God, spirituality, this sort of stuff. In the clearest sense, this is what's going on. All of life, all of human life, all of your life is about energy. In yoga we call that energy Shakti. Judeo-Christian calls it spirit. In the Far East they tend to call it Chi. There could be slight different meanings of these words, these foreign translations. But what you're talking about is energy. Now, if you want, you can become mystical about this energy. It can be something that someday you'll experience spirit, the Holy Spirit, Shakti. You'll get Shaktipat from some guru and you'll learn about this energy. No, that's not how you should look at it, because it's not how it is. You know a lot about this energy. I don't care who you are. I don't care what culture you're from. I don't care what you believe or what you don't believe. You know a lot about what is meant by energy. And your life right now is completely devoted to that energy. Not that you have to learn to. Not that thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, all thy mind. Thou dost love this energy with all thy heart, with all thy soul, with all thy mind. Period. Now, that's kind of different. What does that mean? What is that energy? You ever felt love? That's that energy. Ever felt passion? Excited about something? Turned on? Totally just ready to go? Just impassioned with it? Inspired? Ever feel inspiration? That's energy. That's energy. Ever not had energy? Ever be depressed? Ever be so tired you can't even get up? Ever feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders and you got no juice? And sometimes you got juice. What do you want to call it? I call it Shakti. Call it juice. Call it energy. Call it love. I don't care. There are states within you that represent high energy or higher energy than normal, and there are states that represent lower energy. And you know that perfectly well. You deal with it all the time. I don't know, I'm not feeling so good. I have trouble even getting out of bed. It's just my body hurts and I just don't feel any inspiration. I don't even know why I'm going to work, or, God, I don't know. I loved her when I met her, and I'm embarrassed to say I just don't feel that anymore. I used to get so excited to see him or her. And am I embarrassing anybody? Okay. You know anything about that? Okay, then you know about energy, because that's the energy I'm talking about. Don't go make it mystical. Don't make it weird. Your energy levels change, don't they? Okay? Period. And it doesn't take much for them to go up or down. If I sit there and I look at you, I say, God, I was so impressed with the job you did. It's unbelievable. I didn't expect. How you doing? Feel some energy? Right? I am so disappointed in what you turned in. I never thought you would mess me over like this. How you feeling? Okay. You have energy. It's inside. It's not outside. It is either in a higher state, a lower state, or kind of blasé. Feeling how you normally feel. A little bit turned on, a little bit not, a little bit this, whatever it is. So that's the first thing to understand. I'm teaching you yoga. Yoga is about Shakti. From the beginning to the end, yoga is about energy, period. And we'll talk about that as we work our way through. But you better start by talking about what is this energy. And what I like to talk about is let you understand you know the energy very well. You're just not paying attention. There are times you are filled with energy. There are times you have no energy, and it varies everywhere in between. So that's the first thing to understand. That is the energy we're talking about. That is the energy Christ was talking about, the rush of holy waters. That is the energy, period. That's it. That's the energy. All right? Now, how do you deal with the energy now? I'm talking to you as humans. All right? I'm sorry if I insult you. Right? How do you humans deal with the energy now? It's very, very simple. I'm not conscious, so I don't know anything about it. But I know I like high and I don't like low. Who taught you that? What grade in school did you learn to like high and not like low? What, are you kidding me? It's the most intuitive thing that ever existed. There's not a single time in your life that you wouldn't pick high over low. So now the question becomes, you innately, intuitively, at the depth of your being, you like an energy state as opposed to a non-energy state. And you're going to work for that. I'm telling you that everything you ever did was working for that. That's all you've ever done. That's why you got married. That's why you had children. That's why you have a job. That's why you go to Europe. That's why every single thing you do. Why you buy one piece of clothing versus the other. Why you put on the clothing, you get into this big wraparound mirror thing, right? You turn around, you turn around. What are you checking out? Either fits or it doesn't. I don't understand. It's either winter or summer. When you get the right. No, that's not what I'm checking out. I'm checking out what it does to my energy. I'm checking out when I turn around here, does it make me feel good? What's feel good? Energy. What is feel bad? No, low energy. It's all about the energy flow, period. You're dealing with it every day of your life. But this is what happens. You don't know that. You don't understand that. You know it. You just don't know that you know it. All right? But if a conscious being pays attention and sees, oh, I'm interested in this energy flow. A not-so-conscious being sees what will make me feel better, what will make me feel worse. And as they don't even understand that what's shifted in this feeling is the energy. And what you have learned over the course of your life, and each one of you have learned differently because you've had different experiences, is it is absolutely true, I will not deny it, that things outside of you can cause a shift in the energy inside of you. They can make you go up, they can make you go down. Right now, you like to think without thinking that it is the thing that did that. That person gave me the energy. That thing that the person said really turned me on. That, whatever it is, you think it's the outside object that you need to find that will make you have the energy, that will give you the energy. Okay? And that's the outside object that stole your energy from me. I can't go there. It makes me all depressed. It's an ugly place. All right? How come one person goes into that house that turns you off so much and gets turned on? And you go in the house and get turned off. Either the house is a turn on or a turn off. You're doing that. I'm telling you, there could be a place that you go into and it makes you get depressed. It makes you feel down. It just doesn't feel right to you. Okay? And so you think it's the place. And I'm telling you that something could happen to you 2 hours later. And then you go back in that house and it turns you on. It blows your mind. Do you understand that? Just find out that some guru lived in that house 100 years ago, one of the great masters. You hear energy changes completely, doesn't it? What is that telling you? It is not the outside object that is changing your energy. It is your inner state that is changing your energy. So far, we've got two foundational truths of life and spirituality. One, it's all about the energy. You are about the energy. It's just simple. People get married because in their presence they feel energy, they feel love, they feel turned on, they feel excited, they want to do things. People get divorced because in their presence they feel depressed and they feel sick and they don't want to do anything and I just want to get away from this. You don't get divorced when you're feeling all turned on to be around somebody. You don't get married when they depress you. It is all about the energy. I want to find a job that I'm passionate about. That's what they all say, find your passion. Don't they say that? Go find your passion. No. Everything is passionate. Everything. If you have an open energy flow, it all turns you on. Can I sweep that floor? You just swept it. I want to do it again. I can't wait. I got 5 soccer kids. I love soccer. I love picking them up. Oh, my God. It's so much fun rushing from one place to the other. I do it every single day. I can't wait to do it again. There's a person who understands and has their energy open. All right? It is not the event. It is you that is determining whether your energy flows or not. That's two great things I've taught you. These are the principles of spirituality, the pillars, foundations. One, you are about the energy. You don't have to commit yourself to it. You don't have to think about it. Isn't that nice? It's the most natural thing in your entire life. The period. And it always will be from the day you were born to the day you die. Master used to say, spirit loves spirit. You are spirit and you love spirit. You love that Shakti. You love that juice. Okay? So that's the first thing. Then the second thing is that juice can be affected by the outside because of what you have preconditioned yourself on the inside. That's all. If you're told that somebody's going to come see you and they're handsome and they're wealthy and they drive a really nice car, but they don't show off, so they're going to come not dressed so nice and so on, you have a whole different way of interacting with that person than if you didn't get told that first. It's the same person. They're wearing the same clothes. They're driving the same junker car. They just left the Ferrari at home. It is you that is doing this all the time. No exception. Do you understand that? It is you that is doing this. You are in charge of your energy flow. It is inside of you, and you are either opening or closing. That's what it boils down to. If you're opening inside, and we'll talk about what that means, if you're opening inside, you feel the energy. Just like if I open the blinds, I see the light. It's a miracle. I open the blinds. Put the blinds down, oh, it's dark again. Of course it's dark again, and of course it's light. If you open, the energy can flow. If you close, the energy can't flow. All right? That's all you need to know. I could stop right now and tell you, you like juice? Open. You don't like darkness and depression and low feelings and all that kind of stuff? Don't close. There. That's all it is. The problem is you don't know how to do that. You don't know how to open and not close. Therefore, you try to create situations outside of you that will open you. Why? Because you don't know how to open. So she has to do it for me. She has to say just the right thing at just the right time. She has to know when I need my space and when I need to be doted upon. Everything's got to be just right. I have to have the money that I need because I have this bucket list. I want to go do things and see things. I got to have the right people. I got to have the right job. For God's sake, I have the right job. I need a job where they treat me with respect. There's no glass ceilings, for God's sakes. And that I'm turned on. I want a job that gives me what I want and challenges me all the time, and that they respect me. How about you? In other words, I don't know how to open myself. I know how to close myself. I'm real good at that, all right? But I need something outside of me that will naturally, when it comes in, cause an opening. And that, I could just send you home. If you're not careful, you will be like everybody else, and you will waste your entire life. That's a waste of your life. To try and get things outside so that when they come in, they open you. First of all, good luck. Second of all, it will never last. Never has it? You can get a rush. Sure, you get a rush. You get a rush from all kinds of things. They don't last. In fact, many of you know I did my doctorate, all but dissertation. I did my doctorate in economics at the university, and they taught us the law of diminishing returns. Little do they know how deep that law is. That is a deeply spiritual, extremely important thing. What is the law of diminishing returns telling you? It's telling you to give the person something they'll really get turned on. Give it to them again? So much so. Give it to them again? Give it to them again? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Come on. They only have okra. There is a law of diminishing returns. Yes or no? Have you noticed? Buy a new car. See how exciting it is. Every time you get in, the smell, the this, showing it off to people. How long before it doesn't do anything to you more than what your old car did? All right. There is a law of diminishing returns. That is so spiritually deep, and it governs a lot of things. Why does that happen? Because what it's all about is the energy flow. The returns we're talking about is the energy flow. I don't care that what turns you on doesn't turn him on. Whatever turns you on, that's the return that you get. Maybe having a lot of money in the bank and counting it every day. You go down there, count it. I don't care what you do. Maybe giving it away. I don't care. Whatever turns you on. So what happens is, no matter what it is that's turning you on, it's you that's turning you on. You're basically saying, oh my God, I got this new car. This is exciting. People will like me better. This is neat. I always wanted this. While you're saying that, you are open. That's what the mind sounds like when it's open to something, isn't it? When basically that's done and the mind's not saying anymore. It's saying, oh, yeah, I still got to pay the mortgage. I got to pay this car. These payments are a little more than I thought. How you doing now? Every time you get in the car. Stupidest thing I ever did. Now how do you feel? Terrible. Why? The car didn't change. You did. So it is always about you opening and closing, is determining the quality of your life. Not whether you're married, not whether you have children, not whether you toured the world, not whether you have a job that people think is real important and you're really special. No. It is if you are open and you're feeling the juice, your life is beautiful. You wake up in the morning, you giggle, I'm back. Yeah, I wonder what will happen today. Who cares? Because I'm filled with it. I just filled with it. This is so much fun, right? And there's no law of diminishing returns. None. Not to the energy itself. The energy, Master used to call the energy ever new joy. Every time you experience it, it's like the first time you ever experienced it. It's just the most beautiful experience you ever had, all the time, every time. Never diminishes, never, all right? If, however, you're not feeling the energy because you're closed, and something is a stimulus outside to open you, it won't keep doing that. It does it because it's new. It does it because it's look promising. So it's not that the energy loses its return. It's that which was causing you to open, the stimuli, so we call it, right? The stimulus was helping you open. The person, you met the person, they were perfect. Oh my God, I think it's my soulmate, right? Till you find out, you talk to somebody you dated before, right? All of a sudden, not your soulmate anymore, is it? How long did it take? A billionth of a second. Right or wrong? All it took is one more thought in your mind, and that mind closed instead of opened. So the diminishing returns is not that the energy loses its juice. It never loses its juice. Does the love ever lose its juice? Real love, right? What loses its juice, it makes it feel like it lost its juice, is you don't stay open. I didn't realize he didn't put the top on the toothpaste. What kind of idiot doesn't put the top back on the toothpaste, right? I thought it was, as a song they used to have, it's nice to have a man around the house. Not so much so. Right? Your mind starts doing that. I'm telling you, you're not going to feel the juice. It is not because he didn't put the top on the toothpaste. It is because you closed. Now, you used the top on the toothpaste as an excuse to close, but you didn't have to close. You don't ever have to close. It is a choice that you are doing. This is so foundational. So it's all about the energy. The energy is independent. It's inside yourself, but you can close and open to it. Why you'd want to close, I have no idea. But you do. And worse yet, what you do is set up triggers that will cause you to open and close. They're not natural. So you, when you were young, your parents got divorced when you were 6. You're now 36 years old. 30 years, not enough to get over something? No, I don't think so. You keep it in there anyways, right? So now you have this thing in there about divorce. Not positive, because it hurts you a lot. So now you're sitting there and you're interacting with somebody and you're dating them and it's really wonderful, and then you found he's been divorced. That may not have a very good effect on you because the very word divorce bothers you. You set that trigger up. If, however, you grew up in a household where the father and mother were not very nice people, and they ended up getting divorced, and you ended up with a stepmother, stepfather that was the nicest thing in the whole world, and it was the best thing that ever happened to everybody in your family, that this messy relationship broke up, now you're dating somebody, and they sat there and said, well, I need to tell you I've been through a divorce. And you light up. Oh, you learned. You learned how to run a relationship and not have it. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm twice as open as I was before. That could happen, couldn't it? Anything can happen. You are doing it. You are carrying inside yourself these preconditions that you built across the course of your life. And psychology will take you all the way back to 2 years old and your formative years. Things happened. They felt good. They didn't feel good. And so now you want the ones that felt good to happen again, and you don't want the ones that felt bad to happen again. And you're carrying a 2-year-old's or 3-year-old's emotions when you're 33 or 43 or 53. And so now, I'm going to do it very quickly. That is what has conditioned the triggers that cause you to open and close. They are not natural. Your natural state is what the Zen Buddhists talk about. Empty mind. You've heard the term, the void. Empty mind. Empty mind means you didn't do this. You didn't store inside your mind all this garbage that just happened to happen in your past that turned you on or turned you off. And so now you set up these triggers, these conditions, these concepts, self-concept, views, opinions, preferences, hopes, dreams. They're just all stuff that you built because of your past experiences. Your hopes and your dreams are not yours. They are the result of what has happened to you. If you sit there and say, oh, I hope that someday I can do this or that, there's reasons you're saying that. You didn't make that up, all right? There's experiences you've had in the past that left impressions that now when you think about it make you feel bad or make you feel good. You say, no, I'd never want to be that. I can't even believe you're doing that. Oh, my God, tax man, how could you do tax? All right? Because, they shut your parents down, they shut the business down, or this, who the heck knows? Your dreams are not yours. Your likes are not yours. Your dislikes are not yours. Your opinions are not yours. Your views are not yours. Your preferences are not yours. And guess what? Psychology completely agrees with me. Skinner, B.F. Skinner said, man is the sum of his learned experiences. Now, as a yogi, I know I'm not the sum of my learned experiences, but I know that my mind is the sum of my learned experiences. I'm the one who notices that my mind is the sum of my learned experiences. How about you? Have you noticed your mind's got certain tendencies and likes and dislikes and gets freaked out over stupid things? You learn those. They didn't just come out of the air. In yoga, we call them samskaras. You were programmed with these impressions from the past that you kept inside of you. And now you've built this whole house inside your mind. It's called the personal mind. It's not called the mind. The mind is like an empty computer. It has the ability to store things and run programs and have data and memories. has all these attributes and capabilities. But when you first get it, it's empty. It just sits there. It's just pure potential. That's what your mind is. It is a brilliant apparatus that was given to you for free. You didn't do anything to get it. And it can do anything. It can think about outer space. It can think about your toenail. It can think about anything, can it? And it can think about how your parents got divorced when you were 6, how painful it was, even though it was 40 years ago. It can do anything. So that's what mind is. When Buddhists say empty mind, they mean you have come back to primal mind that has not been distorted by storing all this garbage that you were either for or against and like and dislike, and now the whole mind's a mess. That's why the mind is such a mess now. That's why all day, I don't want that. I hope that doesn't happen. Oh my God, I would die if that happened. Why are you doing that with your mind? The mind is capable of being empty. It's capable of being there ready to serve. Go think about outer space. Go think about how to make air conditioning. Think about how to solve polio. Think about some nice things, will you? Stop thinking about what happened to you 10 years ago that you didn't like. All right? And then think about how to make it not happen ever again. And think about how to get even with people that made it happen. Why are you using your mind for this? That's called the personal mind. How do you like that? The mind is a computer. It can run programs. It can run a menu program for cooking things. It can run an accounting program. It can run a CAD program for designing. And it can run the personal program. You don't want to run that one. The personal program just sits there and talks about what it wants and what it doesn't want and what it likes and what it doesn't like and what things hurt it before and what it was excited about and what better happened in the future or is not going to be okay and what shouldn't happen in the past because it wasn't fair and it shouldn't happen. It's just not fair and I'll never be okay because that happened and nobody will be okay if that happened to them when they were 6 also. That's the personal mind. You like that program? No. You don't like that program. You don't want that program running. Do you understand that? The program ruins all of life. So now what happens is because you have built that program inside of you, that is your self-concept, those your views, your opinions, your preferences, just this whole thing that you did with your mind, that how you kind of made sense or not sense out of your past. Right? You put it all together. I'm good at this. I'm not good at that. I like this kind of person. I don't like that kind of person. I like if somebody deals with me. How do you like, young ladies? Do you like when men open the door for you? Yeah, I think it's really respectful. It's so chivalrous. What, are you kidding me? I'm capable of my own door. What kind of chauvinistic thing is that? Do you hear me? It's just stuff. It's stuff. You saw it in a movie or your father said something, your mother. It's just impressions that got left upon your mind, and now you're spewing them as if they're you. So spirituality under all conditions is about transcending that, getting rid of that, not hanging out in the personal mind. So what happens with the personal mind? Because you built this thing inside your mind, when the world comes in, and it does, it comes in through your senses, it doesn't come to you, the consciousness first. It has to come through the filter of mind. And your mind has something to say about it, doesn't it? Come on, smile. I like it, I don't like it, she shouldn't have done it, oh my God. I love she got tattoos, I'm really turned on by tattoos. I don't like tattoos. She got something to say, doesn't it? About everything. It's just stuff that got built within your head. And you built this program inside your mind. And now what happens is, if the world outside comes in, and it happens to hit that program in a way that reminds it of nice things, of what it likes, of what it prefers, you open. You open. God, your tattoos are gorgeous. Well, God, who did those? Not local. Nobody's good. That good local. We're doing good, are we? Okay? It's just you open because they're saying something you like. Even if I was saying those things, you could have past impressions. Your parents, they hate your tattoos, right? But they're trying to be politically correct. Oh, your tattoos are so nice, darling. It's very, very, they're full of it, and it turns you off. Then somebody comes and talks like that, and it turns you off. Do you hear? I'm just trying to show you. I can give example after example. There's nothing saying what's going to turn you on or turn you off. Your impressions say that, all right? So what happens is you built this thing, this monster of conditions. That's what they are, conditions inside yourself. Preferences, likes, dislikes. Now you're sitting there. The world is unfolding. It's just going about its business unfolding. It's pretty awesome. We can talk about that in a minute. The fact that it's there, to a yogi, the fact that the world is out there is pretty mind-blowing. How to get there? Come on, you're sitting on a little planet, spinning in the middle of absolutely nowheres, and there's people and elephants and giraffes. Oh my God, this is so amazing. It's like, how did it get there? There's nice people and there's mean people. Isn't that funny? Right? And it's like, wow. All right, but you can't do that. Because when it comes in, it doesn't make it to you. who can be joyful about it, who can rejoice in it, who can see the awesomeness of creation, that it just is the way it is. Your body started out this big, and then it grew, and then it gets old, and it's going to die. Ain't that far out? You're not doing any of it. It does it all by itself. Isn't that pretty neat? How dare you call it your body? It seems to be its own, right? Make it stop aging. Come on, I'm waiting. All right? And you just have a whole nother view when you don't have this filter, this veil of preferences and concepts and views and hopes and dreams and that the world has to pass through in order to get to the consciousness. But that's a very high state. That's a state of empty mind. That's a state of enlightenment. That's the state. So basically, we'll talk about it a little bit, but basically what happens now is the world comes in, it does hit your stuff all the time. Doesn't matter the size. Somebody beeps at you when you're working with your phone at the car so you didn't go when the light changed. Beep. Wait till you see what goes on inside of you. That mind just sits on about that. Sort of like, oh, I'm sorry, I was wrong. I know I'm not supposed to look. Or, what the hell's wrong with people today? Just it's like in 2 seconds. It's going to say something, isn't it, about everything. Everything. It's unbelievable. So the world can't come in without passing through the veil you created. It's your own personal veil based on your past experiences and how you process them. And so therefore, some things open you and some things close you. And I'm telling you, if it opens, it means it matches the veil nicely. So therefore, you feel safe. So you tend to open. And when you open, you feel energy. Don't you dare think it's the thing outside that made you feel the energy. I already went through that with you. Somebody else is getting closed by the exact same thing. And 5 minutes later, you may close by the same thing. But because you're conditioned now to where the event causes you to open, it causes the veil to open, all of a sudden you in there, the consciousness, are experiencing this energy. It can be tremendous. You sit there, a sunset, you're all bothered and the mind giving you trouble. All of a sudden you turn the corner and there's this brilliant sunset with purples and oranges and oh my God, right? And it pulls your consciousness out of the veil. Your consciousness gets drawn into the distraction of the sunset and you come back and say, oh my God, it was so beautiful. It was like looking into the face of God. I swear, it was like a spiritual experience. It was a spiritual experience because you opened so much that you felt spirit. You felt Shakti. You felt that flow of energy rise up inside of you and it intoxicated you and it took you to a deep state. Same thing happens when you first hug or first kiss and holding your baby for the first time. Things happen that open you and they can open you so much that you literally have a spiritual experience. Because you're dealing with spirit. That thing was not spiritual. That sunset's no more spiritual than the rain. But it is to you, unless your last relationship ended up with him walking off in the sunset, over in Maui somewhere, and now you see the sunset, and every time you see the sunset, the deep depression comes over your entire being. It could happen, couldn't it? There, please understand this. Otherwise, you will waste your life chasing situations that will open you and running away from situations that close you. Well, what's the alternative? Fix it. Since you're doing it, why would you have to run for outside situations to open you? Why don't you just learn to open yourself? Or learn to not close? There. That is the essence of spirituality. And all the techniques and everything that's taught to you are really about that. So it's not about renunciation. That's a real misunderstanding. It's not about renouncing what turns you on. It's about, instead of working to get what turns you on, realize how limited that is. There's 800 billion things in the universe going on right now. There's 2 that would turn you on. It's extremely limited. By the way, the rest would turn you off. That was not an exaggeration. The rest, if I have 16,000 things in front of you, there's all kinds of things, food, this, that, architecture, so on, right? 2 of them possibly would turn you on. The rest of them will turn you off. What do you mean? Why will they turn me off? Because they're not the ones you want that turns you on. There's all kinds of food, right? And none of it's strict vegan, all right? I mean, there's vegetarian, and there's this, and there's gluten-free, but it doesn't say vegan, all right? Like, that's it, man. Like, no matter how much food there was, if it wasn't exactly what you wanted, that exactly fit what you made up, it ain't going to do it, is it? It's not that the 16,000 are negative. It's that they're not the ones you want. How do you feel when you don't get what you want? Bad. So please understand this. It's deep. If you spend your life trying to get what you want, you have wasted your life. Because there's only a few things that you want. If you say what you want, you said the rest doesn't do it. Well, the rest is a pretty big number compared to that one thing. So this list of what you want is not the list of what will make you happy. It's the list of everything else will not make you happy. Here's the qualities I want in a relationship. I feel sorry for you. I do. I feel sorry for you. And by the way, if they tell you, I've been making this list since I was 7, right? Run as fast as possible. That it's not that those qualities will turn you on. It's that you're so limited that you have built a model inside your head that says, if I see those things, temporarily I'll be open. But there is a law of diminishing returns. I mean, yes, I don't like the fact that my ex-boyfriend didn't put the cap on the toothpaste. Hey, this guy does. Wow, I wonder how long that'll turn you on. So making this list is the stupidest thing you ever did. But yet your entire society, this is what they do, what they teach you to do. Decide what you want and go get it. Decide what you don't want and put your thing and be strong and assertive and push it away. Have fun fighting with everything for the rest of your life. Then you wonder why life's tension, struggle, why there's anxiety. Of course there is. Because you didn't say, let's dance to life. You said, you better be the way I want you to be, and you better not be the way I don't want you to be. And you didn't say it to life, you said it to every moment of your life. What if every moment for the last 3 days was what you wanted? Well, it could be one that's not. That's all it takes, isn't it? To bring you down. Oh. Right? Get in a relationship and have it be the most awesome thing that ever was for 3 solid weeks. The person is your soulmate. It was the most perfect. I mean, you couldn't even dream it was so perfect. It was like God made this person, right? And just enjoy that 3 weeks the most of and then have them leave you. Well, it's just one moment. See how you're doing. It has to be exactly the way you want all the time for you to be okay. And even when it is the way you want, you worry that it won't be later. And even when it's not the way you don't want, you worry that it might be later. Spirituality under all conditions is waking up and realizing that's a losing game. If I like the energy, and I do, I never took that away. I like the energy. I love the energy. No one's taking that away from you. It's not renunciation. It's like being wiser how to get it so it lasts. You become a connoisseur. He gave a talk once in the 70s, a connoisseur of Shakti. You become a connoisseur of the Shakti. You don't want the energy that only shoots up once in a while and you get turned on, then you have to go down and fight for it again and, like a drug. What you want is to find out how to stay there. I'm telling you, there is a life in which every day of your life there is more energy. Every day you are working with yourself to stay open more, so there's more energy, to close less, so there's more energy. And then what seemed like a lot of energy starts to seem like nothing. That which you used to call high is now low, and it keeps going. And there is no end to how high it goes. There's no end. It just goes higher and higher and higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. I like that life. And while you're living that life, you don't give up this one. You do give up using this one to try and get high. You're not doing that anymore. You realize the way to get high is to not close. You don't have to worry about finding something to open you if you don't close. So now you got all this juice. You don't need a single thing. You're totally filled. You're self-efficient. You're self-effulgent. All this juice. Man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that leaveth the mouth of the Father. You're not living by what's coming in from outside. That's what's meant by bread. You're living by what's happening inside. And that comes from God. That comes from a deep... We'll talk about where the Shakti comes from later. But you're living off that. So why would I interact with the world? Because it's fun. Because you feel love. Yogi interacts with the world for the same reason someone plays a sport. There's pick up tag football, or whatever. Well, why would you do that? Well, it's fun. It's fun. It gives you something to do. Well, why try to win? Why would you like to play against a team that wasn't trying to win? That's no fun. Right? It's because by trying to win, you dig your Shakti. You pull energy up, don't you? You have to go down there and dig inside and bring up the best that you have and the best that you are. That's where sports is fun, isn't it? In India, in the ancient scriptures, the Upanishads and this and that, when they talk about God and why he created creation, they say life is God's Leela. My understanding is the proper translation in Sanskrit is it's God's sport. This is a sport. And you do the best that you can for no reason. You do the best that you can because it's fun. And so now you've got all this juice and you want to express it. You want to go to work. You want to take care of the kids. You want to get married. Just basically there's this tremendous fulfillment of energy, and it wants to express itself. Not, I need to get married because I'm not okay and you'll make me be okay. Not, I need to find the job that will get me out of my stupor because I never found what I was really excited about. It's a whole different level. It's not that you don't interact with the world. You just stop interacting with the world with the ignorance that says, I like the energy, but I closed myself, and I set up these conditions that the world has to be for me to open, so go on, world, be them. Why would you want to live like that? Why don't you just open? The energy's free. There's unlimited energy inside of you. Right. So now how do you do that? First, you understand. Techniques are easy. The question is, do you understand that you're wasting your life to devote your life to finding what will turn you on, to finding what will make you feel passionate, to finding a person that lets you feel love? You are blocking yourself, and then you're setting up conditions on which you'll unblock yourself. And what kind of a game is this? It's like, to me, it's like if you're starving to death, and I see you, and I say, oh my God, you poor thing, look at you, you're going to emaciate, you need to eat. And I look, and there's this entire 15-course dinner sitting in front of you, right? And you say, oh, I'm so hungry, I need to eat, I'm dying. Well, eat. Oh, no, I can't. Why? Because I need a 23-year-old girl with her sister, who's 32, to come and serve me. And it has to be on Japanese platters that were organic. And they were never... What? It has to be fed that way. That sounds pretty stupid, doesn't it? That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing with your energy. You're filled with energy. You closed it, and then you set up these conditions under which they have to happen exactly, and I mean exactly, right? They have to exactly like that in order for me to open and feel my own energy. Yoga looks at that and says, boy, I hope that looks as stupid to you as it does to me. Why don't we just not close? Why don't we just do the work we need to do inside to where there are no conditions for us to be open? I'm open all the time. Why would you be open all the time? Because the alternative is no fun. Like even bad things. Somebody wrote me today. They write from all over the world. They ask questions after the books. And this person asked a very sincere question. She studied Eckhart Tolle, she studied this, she read my books, everything. And she doesn't understand how all the spiritual teachers teach that life is truly beautiful and you should appreciate it and accept it and honor it and so on. She says, so what if people were abused as a child? What if this and that? And how can that be beautiful? And try to explain that to me. So, here's the answer. There are terrible things that happen in this world. There are really beautiful things, and there are really terrible things. Guess what? It's always been like that. It was like that when Christ was here. It's like that when Buddha was here. It's like that. Why? Because people are messed up. And because they're messed up, their energies are messed up, they do really messed up stuff. Now here's the decision. Let it mess you up so you add to the mess upness, or learn to handle it. Learn to respect that people are messed up, and they do messed up things, and what can I do to help? Not, it messed me up. Okay? If there's darkness, bring light. That's what St. Francis's prayer is, right? If there's darkness, bring light. What good is it to bring darkness? What good is it to get depressed because bad things happen? What good is it to feel so overburdened and torn down because there's these evil things that go on in the world, so that now you brought darkness to the party? You understand that? Just sit around. Of course you suffer. If that happened to me when I was young, oh my God, I can't even believe you're living with yourself. What are you doing? All that's doing is bringing more darkness. So what you do is you learn that your state is to be one of high. Your state is to be one of constant high. Constant. And there's no end to how high you can get. Then serve. Bring light where there's darkness. Bring more light where there's light. Just be a source of upliftment. So you are capable of this. But you're not capable of this if what you continue saying is, I'm not okay. I don't feel the high that I want to be feeling all the time. So there's things that I have to do outside and that other people have to do, and things that better not happen. And all these conditions need to take place for me to be okay. And you know darn well that's how you're living. And the wise person takes one look at that and says, wait a minute. If I'm the one who decides when I open and I'm the one who decides when I close, and I am, why don't I just decide not to close? I mean, you're going to go in, you're going to have lunch. You only get 45 minutes lunch at your job. You went out with everybody else, the little team, staff, and you sit there and you ordered, right? And it's not exactly what you thought it would be. The temperature's not exactly the same. The serving is not as large as you thought it would be, or it's way too large. You don't like to leave things on the plate. It's just not exactly as you thought it would be. All right, okay. You now have a choice. This is your lunch. You don't have another 45 minutes. You're either going to enjoy your lunchtime or you are not going to enjoy your lunchtime. It is your choice. It is not the cook's choice or the restaurant's choice. At this moment, it is your choice. Do you want to enjoy your lunch or not? And I'm telling you, your mind will fight right back. Well, of course I want to enjoy my life. If they gave me the right size portions and it was this and it was like that, like, what are you doing? You're ruining your life. In the name of making your life nice, you're ruining your life. And so these become the teachings. How do I free myself from myself? Christ says you must die to be reborn. Now, do you understand? You got to stop doing that stuff. What? Ruining your life. Stop putting all these conditions on everything that says I'm only going to be okay if it's exactly what I want. I'll never be okay if it's like that. Oh, my God, I would die. But there are people who literally say, oh, no, if he ever left me, I would die. If my kid got sick, I would die. I would just die. I wouldn't know what to do. I would die. You know what that's called? Affirmation. Go on, say it over and over again. That's an affirmation. I would die if that ever happened. I would die. Yeah, real nice way to program yourself. You're not paying attention to what you're doing inside. So you're causing all kinds of sickness and problems inside. I'm telling you, if you took a flogging whip and whipped your back, you'd be better off than what you do with your mind. You are ruining your life by sitting there letting your mind day and night, oh my God, it's raining. Why does it have to rain on my day off? It always rains on my day off. What did I do? I didn't do anything. Why is that not flogging? It's exactly the same as flogging. You're just making your mind miserable, which makes you miserable. You can't be happy if your mind's complaining, can you? And then you think the answer is that the thing I'm complaining about needs to not happen, or it needs to happen the other way. Why don't you just stop complaining about things? There, and that becomes your work. Therefore, you're either working outside to try and manipulate the moments around you, people, places, things, weather, everything, to manipulate it to be the way that will open you up so you can feel some juice and not close you. Or you take the same will, maybe less, you take the same will and you work on opening yourself. You work on opening yourself instead of trying to find somebody that will open you. You work on opening yourself when you go to work instead of trying to find a job that opens you. Because I'm telling you, it won't keep opening you. If you play with conditions, they don't always match. If you open yourself, it always works. If you learn. And then the thing becomes, I've learned over all these years, people don't know how to open themselves. If I say, open up, they just look at me, all right? You know what you do know how to do? Not close. And that's what I teach. I don't teach you to open. I understand that telling you to open, what would you do? A crowbar? I don't know. But I can tell you this, you know how to not close. Because you know that if you're driving down the road and someone's driving 20 miles an hour below the speed limit, you're in a rush, you can watch yourself close, can't you? You can watch yourself complain. You can watch yourself talk to the person. That person ain't listening to you. They don't hear a single thing you're saying. You can watch yourself making all kinds of noise inside your head. In other words, you're bothering yourself about this. It's not bothering you. You're bothering yourself about this. So maybe we should learn to handle that. Maybe we should learn that for that one moment, those 2-3 minutes till they turn off or you can pass them, you can be happier than you would have been doing what you're doing now. You literally don't have to bother yourself about that, do you? And you learn not to. That's what I teach. Just like you learn to play the piano, just like you learn to play tennis, just like you learn calculus. You learn to not bother yourself so much about things. And all of a sudden, since I stopped bothering myself about the weather, about the car in front of me, about what somebody else was wearing, and this and that, right? I'm much happier. So you start a process, start with the simple things where you stop bothering yourself. If you stop bothering yourself, you will stop being as bothered. Will there still be things in there that bother you? Of course, you've been collecting them your whole life, right? You got stuff in there, right? But what you're going to find out is it all can go. It all can be released to where you're empty, you're whole, you're complete. But you have to learn how to do it. So you start with the simple things, the weather, this. Stop complaining about the weather, will you? Come on, just take that one. How can you be happy if you complain about the weather? You don't even think about it. You complain about the weather all the time. It's too hot, too cold, it's rainy, humid, my hair is frizzing. Well, if you're going to complain, you're not going to be happy. Complaining is part of not being happy. Complaining is part of closing. If you have to go somewhere and you're all excited and it starts pouring rain, you're not so excited anymore.
Unless you really didn't want to go and the rain gives you an excuse, now you're really excited. You're doing this. And I'm begging you, I want you to learn to stay open. I want you to learn to not close. The minute you see yourself starting to get negative, see, it's like nothing wrong with negativity except it closes you. If you don't like something, right? I'm telling you right now, if somebody saw a roach run across the floor and they really don't like roaches, they may never come out again. Well, I like the temple, but I don't, there's roaches. You could ruin your life. Anything you want. Or you can sit there and say, oh, look, it's cute. They've been around since the dinosaurs. Look at that little booger. All right? You do whatever you want with your mind. It's your mind. They're your thoughts. They're not anybody else's. How about making them nice? And the more nice they are, the less you close. And the less you close, the more you're open. And the more you're open, the more there's this juice. This just giggly happiness. And lest ye be as little children. There's just this joyous state. Anybody can have that. But if you stored so much negative stuff inside of you and you made your entire personal mind a storehouse of garbage, it's kind of hard to believe it can be really nice. You give up hope. Little by little, start working with yourself. Work with these moments in life where there's this tendency to get negative and just replace it with positive thoughts or do a mantra. Or the ultimate I found is, but you'll have to do work on yourself to be able to do this, relax. When the negativity starts to come up, when the closing starts to happen, instead of participating, yeah, you're right, this is ridiculous, why is it always, there you go, you just went into it, you fed it, you built it, you closed. Instead, the minute you see it, and I mean the second you see this tendency to close, you'll feel it, you'll feel less energy. You're around somebody, you love her, it's beautiful, you're really open, then all of a sudden she says something that makes you feel a little jealous or wonder, or you feel it, don't you? Come on, you feel it, the energy. But I feel a disturbance in the force, like Darth Vader. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? You start to feel that. The minute you feel that, relax. The millisecond that you feel a shift in the energy inside, that's a tendency to close. Again, end up with closing. Just relax. Don't touch it and lean away from it. What will happen is you gave it room to release. There's a reason it was doing that. The reason will start to come up and purify. And if you just constantly relax and release behind these tendencies to close, I didn't say behind closing. I don't want you to close. I want that you deal with it when it's a tendency. Does anybody know what I mean, the tendency to close? Do you ever feel the tendency to close? Okay, that's your work. That's higher than meditation. That's higher than going to Himalayas and meeting a great master. Right? Go to Himalayas, meet a great master, and come back and close and see what happens. Meditate for 3 hours. And then go out there and get upset because everybody wasn't doing what you wanted to do while you were meditating. The benefit of meditating is you become conscious enough so you're present to do what I'm saying. Mantra is the same thing. All your spiritual practices are about centering you so that you can do this. But if you don't do it every moment of your life, you're causing yourself to open so you can close again. Go on a weekend retreat and get real high. Then come back and complain there's so much noise at work and you can't meditate anymore. You have to be willing to let go of the part of you that is causing the problem. All right? That's what Christ meant. You must die to be reborn. You must be willing to let go of this thing you built, this personal self, personal concept, to let it go so that you can be born back into spirit. The energy is within you. It's always there. Okay? And you just have to learn to not close. So that's the essence. We've laid down some foundations in this talk. One, you're about the energy. You can't deny it. You're about the energy. So your work is to understand you love the energy. There, and nice, I didn't take that away from you. You love the energy. The energy is inside. The outside affects the flow of the energy because you told it to. You built this veil inside that said it's going to affect it and this is how it's going to affect it. And the whole process of yoga and spirituality is you take the thing down. Take it down. I'm here for the rush, and the only way I can always have the rush is to enjoy and appreciate and respect life's right to be life. It has the right to rain when it rains. It has the right to snow when it snows. She has the right to be nice when she's nice. She has the right to be moody when she's moody. Whatever the heck it is, my responsibility is my juice. And if you think that's selfish, you change your juice, you change the world. You change yourself, you change everybody else. All right, work on these things. Jai Gurudev.